Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the live podcast where we cover the latest Bethesda news and, of course, answer your questions and comments. It's always a subscriber-driven podcast. Today we have so much to talk about not much of it good, but there are some good things we will cover. Of course, we're going to cover the layoffs that just happened with Microsoft, the canceled games and affected games at Bethesda themselves. A possible reason why I believe that Bethesda and ZeniMax had the layoffs and the cancellations it had. You probably won't hear that any other place. We're going to talk massive changes coming to Fallout 76. We're going to talk future of Bethesda, Starfield, The Elder Scrolls 6, and more. And we might even get into Spy Team. Yes, a new game coming from Bethesda. Well, maybe, unless Microsoft cancels it. But we'll get into that as well. I want to remind you, if you're new to the KingFanMan channel, and if you love Bethesda, hit that subscribe button, because that's all I talk about on this channel. Also, there's a couple of ways that you can help me out if you want to. Number one is liking the video and subscribing. Number two, you can become a member of this channel and get a pretty little crown beside your name and more. For the price of a cup of coffee every month, you can be a member of this channel, or you can join my Patreon as well. If it was not for my members and my Patreons, I couldn't be doing this. So thank you so much to every one of you. I appreciate you more than you know. As always, the chat is open. I will answer all your questions. Psycho, how's it going? Dane, how's it going? Good to see y'all here. And the super chat is always open. Cirque is here as well. Y'all let me know if you can hear me good, if you can see me good, and we are going to jump right in because we have a lot to talk about today. Kane, what's going on? Buddy, I want to get you on the KingCast here soon. So thank you for being here, Kane. Well, let's jump right into what's going on right now, of course, in the news, and it is the layoffs and the cancellations of the games, especially Bethesda games, that we're going to talk about. In fact, we're going to talk about 6 games that have either been canceled or affected, and this is in Bethesda, okay, by these layoffs and all the changes that are going on with Microsoft. And by the way, we're going to get into some of those reasons why I do believe this stuff is happening. Oh, and I failed to mention right off the bat, if y'all notice, I don't look as good today because my queen is not sitting beside me. And we all miss Queen, but there she is on the chat. Hi, Miss Queen. You be careful while you're out running around and working. She's out working, trying to make us some money. So thank you, Queen, for all that you do for this family. So, like I said, we're going to talk about 6 games that are affected or canceled in Bethesda and the reasons for those. Okay, number 1, Romero Games. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this. They are not a Bethesda studio, but Bethesda was funding this studio and was going to publish Bethesda Softworks. Sorry, my curtain is coming open. They were going to fund this game. Well, because of what happened yesterday and day before, that studio and that game is no longer happening. It was founded by John Romero. He is the co-creator of Doom. Okay, so he's royalty in gaming. And again, Bethesda was going to be the publisher. They was also funding it, but Microsoft told them, nope, cut it. And this FPS is going to be a Doom-like new FPS was cut. So there is another game that most people are not talking about inside of Bethesda that is being stopped. Of course, the big one is Project Blackbird, or the name of it, now we're finding out, is Kestrel. Now, I will admit right off the bat, there was something I was wrong about. It is not a Starfield MMO, but y'all have to admit, it is a sci-fi MMO, and I do believe one of the reasons it's getting cut is because Starfield didn't do as well and didn't hold the players as well as it could have. Because this is the more that comes out about this Project Blackbird, or as again it was originally called Project Kestrel, but they changed that to Project Blackbird because they actually like the name Kestrel as the title. The more that comes out about this, the crazier it gets. Number one, I have to say that Matt, and I can't pronounce his name very good, Firor, he's the head of ZeniMax Online Studios, and he's been there for 18, I mean, gosh, he's been there forever. But he stepped down in protest over what went on. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and we're going to jump into it today. Again, I haven't heard anybody talking about this, but the writing is on the wall. It's in the papers. I want y'all to be thinking before I say it. What has just happened with Bethesda and ZeniMax in the last few months? In fact, Bethesda actually and ZeniMax went on strike. Do y'all remember all that? Of course, Microsoft's not going to say this is the reason, but yes, Bethesda and ZeniMax was the very first studio under Microsoft to unionize. Microsoft never had a studio that was unionized under them. And isn't it funny that they had negotiations? In fact, Microsoft dragged their feet for 2 years over these negotiations. Negotiations was finally reached last month, but everything was not finalized. In fact, the strike was over Microsoft dragging their feet over this unionization and the bargaining over the unionization. You cannot tell me them unionizing under Microsoft did not affect what went on. You wonder why this project got canceled? One reason, I believe it's Starfield still, because it was a sci-fi thing. Starfield didn't go over well. But the fact that over 300 ZeniMax employees had unionized, there you go. There was also a machine games game that was canceled. It had a Disney license on it. We do not know what the game is. We think it is the Star Wars game. The Mandalorian was talked about in leaks like a year ago. So that's probably what that is. But I hate to see a machine games game stopped. Also, Arcane Blade is now in question with the things going on with the development of that movie and with all that's going on inside Microsoft. That's tough. The other two games we're going to talk about later, but it's, of course, Starfield. What's going to happen with the future of Starfield now with all this happening? And the Elder Scrolls 6 was put on delay because they are restructuring inside Bethesda Game Studios. And again, I don't know if y'all been watching X, but there's been a lot of Bethesda employees laid off as well. It's not hitting the news, but they're coming up saying, my time at Bethesda's over. My time at Bethesda's over. And I can't help but think again, the very first studios to unionize under Microsoft is getting hit. So I don't think Phil Spencer is the one that is over all this layoffs. In fact, that Project Kestrel or Project Blackbird, the news is coming out now that they had just met. Phil Spencer, Matt Booty went to ZeniMax, and they loved the game. They loved Project Blackbird. In fact, Matt Booty had to rip the controller out of Phil Spencer's hands because he wouldn't quit playing to continue the meeting. So it's not that the game is bad. It has to be another reason. So you tell me what you think. Could the union be part of this? I think so. All right, Kane, we'll get into the chat for a minute and then we'll move forward. Kane says, I talk about this in detail in the video I'm producing. I think the real reason is the timeline, 10 years in development. Yes, it did start in 2018. But now again, I have to say, they created a whole new engine as well. So it wasn't just that game took that long. The team at ZeniMax were working on 3 things. They were working on the Elder Scrolls Online that has taken over $2 billion in for Microsoft. Y'all think about that. $2 billion. Then they were building a whole new engine for this new game and working on the game. So there was a lot going on in that 10 years. But yes, I agree. And Kane goes on to say, and an entirely new engine plus the union issue all led to the cancellation. I agree with you 100%, Kane. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to your video. But I haven't heard anybody else talking about this. Why? Again, Bethesda and ZeniMax just went on strike a month ago. It's not like it's not been in the headlines. Okay. Dane says Starfield was a huge gamble that just didn't pay off. Absolutely. Easy E Fallout says, are we getting a salt extractor in 76? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Especially now that we need so much salt for grilled fish. We need to tell them we need a salt extractor. Dane says we could have had Elder Scrolls 6 instead of Starfield and had Fallout 5 sooner. Yeah. Fallout 5 is coming in legit 20 years, Danny says. But remember, guys, there is another Fallout. In fact, there's 2 more Fallouts coming to us before Fallout 5 gets here. You got the Fallout 3 remaster we know is coming. And then there is no doubt, I have 0 doubt, there is a Fallout spinoff coming either from Obsidian or NXL. And we'll talk about that a little bit today because I mentioned it in the podcast just the other day with Joey Caps, that my question is, if Obsidian, I love Obsidian's writing, but if Obsidian is making the next Fallout, are they going to make it in the Creation 2 engine, or will they do it the way they've done Avowed and The Outer Worlds, which I believe is the Unreal 5 engine? Me personally, you may feel different of this. I do not want a Fallout that's not in the Creation 2 engine. I believe the reason that Fallout New Vegas was so good is because you had Obsidian's writing, which is so good at writing choice and consequence that Bethesda can't seem to get. But they were using Bethesda's tools. They were using Bethesda's engine and all their assets. So, do you believe this Fallout spinoff that is coming, will they do it in the Creation 2 engine or will it come in the Unreal? And before you say, oh, the Unreal would look better, and it would, no doubt about it. We saw what it did for Oblivion. But guys, y'all don't understand what all the Creation engine does. The people that gripe about the Creation engine don't understand what it does, number 1, for modding, and number 2, for all the little things in the world that you got to pick up. I mean, you're not going to have the junk and all that. It's gone if you go to the Unreal engine. It's not going to be there. You have to have the Creation engine for that. Does the Creation engine hold them back in some areas, like the loading screens and all that other? Yes, but there is no other game like a Bethesda game, a Bethesda Game Studios game. None. And part of that is because of the Creation engine that people gripe about all the time. Okay, let's move forward. Jeremy, hey, Jeremy, good to have you here. It says, it can be that Microsoft wants for Xbox to produce more so they can recoup the money that they sank into AI investment. Not just AI investment, but how much did they pay for Activision Blizzard? Wasn't it $69 billion? $69 billion for Activision Blizzard. I thought the Bethesda acquisition was crazy. $69 billion. And ever since they have done that, 2 things I want y'all to think about. Number 1, Microsoft, and I'm talking about not the gaming division, but Microsoft themselves, have been after the gaming division to raise their profits up. If you pay $69 billion for something, you understand why. But there's another part of that as well. and we will talk about that in just a little bit. Y'all just hold on to that. Psycho, what's going on? Starfield was a total waste. There, I hate to say that. Starfield, the base game, I enjoyed. It was just very shallow compared to other BGS games. Um, they didn't do well with the randomness of the spawning, especially of bases where you went to the same base over and over and over on every planet, which takes out one of the biggest things for a Bethesda Game Studios game, which is the exploration. I love the exploration, and so does everyone else in a BGS game. But you just cannot explore like that and find unique places and unique items in Starfield very often. That's the shame of it. Dale says listening and driving. Okay, good. Thank you for being here, Dale. He's got one of those beautiful crowns, and so does Jeremy. Y'all see those? That's part of the King's crew. They get that. Sammy, hey, good to have you here. I want to try Starfield. I have it, just doesn't work for me. Yeah, again, I enjoyed the first 100 to 300 hours, but it gets repetitive quick. It just does not have the deepness or replayability of a Skyrim or Fallout. That's the problem with Starfield. Again, they did some amazing things that we don't give them credit for in Starfield. The shipbuilding is absolutely incredible, and the ship combat for a Bethesda Game Studios game, they got vehicles for the first time in a game. Number one, and then number two, the combat is so good but again, all the randomness that ain't very random, that's what kills it. That's what absolutely kills it. Kane, thank you so much. The Queen's going to get mad at me, but yes, I'm going to use Walter. This is something way back when we didn't have very many subscribers at all. If somebody gave a super chat, then they got a Walter. I kept saying, I want to get a Elvis bobblehead so that we can let him say something, but Queen kept saying, nope, she likes Walter. So, Kane, this is for you.
Marriage is supposed to be forever, and this one's taking too damn long.
Sorry. Oh, I don't think that, Queen. Kane says, and thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That's amazing. Y'all keep me afloat with your support. I'm telling you, y'all are incredible. The best subscribers on YouTube. These layoffs are a direct result of the fact that game development is taking too long. No game should take more than 3 to 4 years to develop. 10 years is just too long for any game. Make no mistake, Bethesda is on notice. 100%. In fact, another thing that's not being reported on very much, again, is Bethesda Game Studios is being restructured. Now, we have not had a clarification of what that means. We know some people have lost their jobs, but most of them are not in development at BGS. Most of them are more the publishing side of Bethesda Softworks. But I'm talking about BGS Maryland, and of course their other three main studios. They are being reorganized as per Microsoft's requirements. And if you wonder what Microsoft's requirements are, let me read you from 3 different people at Microsoft what they are requiring. Phil Spencer in the email that went out. And by the way, can you believe that at a time they're having record sales for Xbox? Phil says our brand has never been stronger, but yet we're going to lay off 9,000 people. Okay, this is what he said. He says, we must make choices now for continued success in future years. A key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential. In other words, the creativity part of video games is out the door. This new game from ZeniMax, too big of a chance. Other than the union issue, because of Starfield, it's a sci-fi game. It's too big of a chance. So they said no. The Machine Games game, Star Wars game, should be a license to print money when you get a Disney license, but they said nope, nope. And here's one of the issues with Bethesda games, and I'm talking about not BGS games. I'm talking about machine games, arcane games, all those. They notoriously undersell some of the best games. Indiana Jones, great game. Did it sell up to video game standards for as great of a game as it is? No. But you look at some of Arcane's best games. I bring it up all the time. This is a perfect example. Prey. By the way, here's my plea to y'all. If y'all have never played Prey, please play it. It's a masterpiece. One of the best games I've ever played, Prey. But it did not sell. The sales were just nothing. Even the Wolfenstein series that is successful. The Wolfenstein was the FPS of the year. It got voted Game of the Year, got many votes for Game of the Year, and I'm talking about Wolfenstein 2. But yet the sales were nothing compared to what BGS gets, okay? Nothing, not even close. So when you're Microsoft and you've just paid $69 billion for Activision, you paid almost $7 billion for, or over, say, my queen is yelling. I hope she's okay.
No.
What are you doing?
I get to hit it.
I've already did it. Turn that down.
Oh, I'm behind.
You're way behind.
Right. I ran in here for nothing. Where is he?
He's over here with
Let me see him.
You leave me alone.
I want to see him.
You leave me alone. Everybody tell Queen hi.
Hi, everybody.
Are you going to hit him anyway?
I am, because I ran in here just for this. Like I was running, yelling. Hi, guys.
Who the hell cares?
There you go. Now get out of here.
That was so appropriate.
I love you, darling.
Hey, guys. Bye, guys.
Are you going to be here for a while?
Well, I'm here.
You're here. Did it go well?
They canceled when I was 35 minutes from there.
Oh.
Look at that.
Wow, that's great. Okay, back.
Wait.
Back.
Do y'all see? Y'all know I'm here for it. Do y'all see my happy mail I got today?
Wow. Yeah, it's got your name on it. Get away.
Oh, well, so does my Facebook, so whatever.
Yeah, everybody knows who we are.
Everybody knows who we are.
Okay. So now that I was so rudely interrupted.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, okay.
I wish that was in our bank.
Well, it has been.
We've spent that much money?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even, what was I talking about, Queen?
I don't know.
It was good though. Oh, I was talking about Prey and the undersales of Bethesda games. They notoriously undersell. So let me give you another quote from Matt Booty. These decisions, being the layoffs and cancellations, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities. You're going to hear this over and over and over because it came from the top. It came from Microsoft. Focus resources to set up our teams for success and to grow our biggest franchises. A Microsoft spokesman said, "We continue to implement organizational and workforce changes that are necessary to position the company for success. They want what makes the most money and the fastest." And again, they're a business. Yes, they just spent billions of dollars on these studios. But the shame of it is we're going to miss so much content that we would have gotten had Bethesda stayed a private company. That's what's sad. On top of all the jobs that are being lost. It's absolutely sad of all that's going on. Let me catch up on the chat. I have no idea where I was. The Queen just got me all rattled. Let's see. Easy Fallout says, I was hoping Starfield was going to be a Fallout 4 in space. I think everybody was. Yep. Or a Skyrim in space. Yep. Wonder where the next spinoff will be set. Earl Lee says, that's an interesting question. I believe, like most, that Fallout 5 is probably going to be a West Coast instead of East Coast for the first time. I think it's going to be San Francisco. I think that was a lot of clues. So probably the spinoff, especially if it's Obsidian, Because, by the way, I don't have his name in my head right now, but the lead writer for Fallout New Vegas has now been rehired at Obsidian. So people saying, well, this Obsidian's not the same Obsidian that made Fallout New Vegas. They are getting some of those pieces back in place. And you might think, why are they doing that? It may be for that Fallout spinoff. So y'all can look up his name. I mean, he just got hired just recently from Obsidian. But if it's Obsidian and if it's in Exile, for that matter, I believe it will also be a West Coast. So you're going to have the TV show that's on the West Coast for Fallout. You're going to have Fallout 5 that's coming, that's going to be on the West Coast. And then you're also going to have the Fallout spinoff that's on the West Coast. Whether it's Fallout New Vegas 2 or some other place out there, I believe it will be West Coast. There are so many other places they could go, but it just seems like that's going to be the focus right now, especially while the TV show is going on. Let's see. The Area Uncensored is here. Hey, what's going on? Nate PX says, are they going to do anything to fix the horrible frame rates on Xbox Series X? I quit after 4,000 hours when they went to native 4K and killed the performance. I wished I could say yes. Jeremy says, plus all the bugs you get to enjoy. It's a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature, guys. Psycho says, I think Xbox will be absorbed into Microsoft software after the next Xbox drops. Did y'all hear? I'm sure y'all heard this news as well, that the one of the former heads of Microsoft Gaming says that the Xbox hardware, that this may be the last generation for an Xbox system. She says that is dying. So if you take her word for it, she would know more than I would. But either Starfield should have been completely random or handmake the whole game. Yes. Yeah. The system they have in Starfield does not work. Absolutely. Sammy says, well, for me, the sound goes out and then the picture goes out and I can't hear or see what I'm doing. It's unplayable for me. Starfield, really, Sammy, I'm guessing you're on Xbox, probably. Let me know what system you're on. Jeremy says, I think Starfield was more development for the modding. Yeah, they were hoping modding would fix it. Kane goes on to say, where was I at? I'm catching up, y'all. If Tez 6 is not a major hit, Todd Howard will likely be the next major player to be pushed out. I agree. The Bethesda we know and love is gone anyway, forever. It really is. You look at the amount of people that is gone. Is 9K laid off being replaced by AI and the like? Yes, many of them are. They have heavily invested into AI, but it's not just 9,000 guys. It is not just 9,000. I mentioned this in my podcast with Joe, but I want y'all to hear this, okay? This is now the 5th round of layoffs, 4th major one in 18 months, but the 5th round of layoffs for Microsoft. In January 2024, they laid off 2,000. In May of 2024, they closed 4 Bethesda studios. You remember that? In September 2024, there was another round of layoffs. Then May 2025, I mean, that was just a month ago, they laid off 6,000. So, and now 9,000. That is almost 18,000 jobs that are gone in less than 2 years. And some of those are like high-level people. Some of them were probably redundant and, maybe needed to happen. But man, how can you survive? How can you hire good people when literally in less than 2 years you get rid of 18,000 people? That's crazy. That's crazy. Jeremy says they hoped with Thousands of Planet they could get thousands of little DLCs. Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is if you don't have the players, you're not going to have the mods. The new mod that came out, the new creation, that came out just recently from the one that did Sim Settlements is very good. If you could get things like that, it would be great. Hey, Thomas, what's going on? Good to have you here. Don't worry about being late. That's all right. I repeat myself anyway. The Area Uncensored just asked, is Todd Howard going to leave? In my opinion, he's got 1 to 2 games at the most left in him. I don't think he's going to hang around for this. I do think he's going to hang around for the TV show. Well, they're talking about 6 seasons. That will get him through the Elder Scrolls 6 and into Fallout 5. So I would say probably Fallout 5 will be his last game, no matter. I mean, he's my age. So, I mean, he's getting close to retirement age anyway. Y'all tell me what you think. Do you think Todd's going to be retiring soon? I think Fallout 5 will probably be his last. Because Chris Avallone, no, it's not Chris Avallone. He is a great writer, and he was definitely one of the writers of New Vegas, but no. I'll think of it in a minute. Kane says, if there is a Fallout spinoff, it won't be Obsidian or In Exile. Both of those studios have too much on their plates. I'm not sure, Kane, because both of them just finished up Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2. So, and they did those 2 games. Think about how fast they put those 2 games together and out. That's amazing. And by the way, it only took them 18 months to put out Fallout New Vegas, which is crazy. You talk about our games taking too long these days, 18 months. Of course, they should have taken a little bit longer. Maybe you wouldn't have all the bugs that it had at launch. In Exile is just finishing up Clockwork Revolution. Now, Obsidian has more open. Obviously, Clockwork Revolution is not out yet. So, but I don't think there is any game that obviously there's not a game they've announced after Clockwork Revolution, and the same with Obsidian and The Outer Worlds 2. So, Jeremy says, if it's a cave cricket, it's a bug. Sammy says, I was on Xbox, but I think I can download it on PC too, so we'll try it. Yeah, PC's much better. Please don't get mad at me, console players, but all you have to do to know that PC is better is play Fallout 76 on both. Play it on PC and then play it on Xbox, or vice versa. The difference is unreal. The difference is unreal. It is so much smoother and faster on PC. It really is. And by the way, let me mention this as well. In the FTC trial, they were worried that Microsoft, because of the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, was going to start hiking the prices of video games and consoles. They were afraid they were going to have to lay off people to, acquire some of these costs. And Microsoft, under oath, testified they were not going to hike prices on their games or consoles, and they were not going to lay off people. Well, now 18,000 people later, plus we have the games going high. We have the first Xbox game with The Outer Worlds 2 being charged $80, and you look at what the price is going to be for the next generation Xbox. It's crazy. They've done everything they said they wouldn't do under oath. But again, I don't think it's Phil Spencer. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I know I mentioned him loving that ZeniMax MMO. Also, Everwild, the game Everwild that was canceled. He was just interviewed, where he talked about the team at Everwild needing time, that they were going to support them and give them time, that he had seen what they had and it looks good. And then a month later, or less than a month later, it's canceled. Same way with the MMO. He loved the MMO from ZeniMax. He couldn't quit playing it. So Phil Spencer's not making these decisions, guys. It is the board of Microsoft that knows nothing about gaming. Just think about that for a minute. They know nothing about gaming, and they're making all these decisions. Kane says, keep in mind that 9% or 9,000 is only 4% of the entire workforce with Microsoft. So if it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. I think that And I wonder, is that 4% of all of Microsoft, or is that 4% of the gaming division at Microsoft? That would make a difference there. Jeremy says, well, you have to remember DEI was shut down, so people are going to get fired. That's true. That is part of it, I'm sure. I don't know if that's what Microsoft is doing. Starbearer says, with all respect, Avowed and Outer Worlds were utter garbage below Starfield. I agree that I don't think they were garbage, but I definitely think Starfield was better than them. And that's why I said, if Obsidian is making the next Fallout, I don't want them to make it in their engine or in Unreal 5 engine. I want it to look and feel like a Bethesda game. Fallout New Vegas looked and felt like a Bethesda game because they used all of their assets. With all due respect, again, to the Outer Worlds and Avowed, I didn't finish either of them. I played both of them, but didn't finish them. I went right back to Bethesda games. I played about halfway through both of them and went right back to Bethesda games because the feel just wasn't what I want. Now, you may be different. I think Starbearer is saying basically the same thing, that they just don't have that magic that Bethesda Game Studios games have. Sammy says, yes, PC is way better. I play through the GeForce app. It helps great. And Kane says, yeah, Phil Spencer doesn't have as much power as he used to have. Absolutely. Yeah, this is coming from the board. And again, it's because they paid $69 billion for, I can't say that enough, $69 billion. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Well, let's talk about Bethesda's future then. With all these games getting canceled, with the Elder Scrolls 6 being delayed, I want to talk about that for a second. Again, this is not being reported on very much at all. And please, if you're wanting news on Fallout 76, I'm going to get to it before we get done. But we're just kind of going crazy on all this stuff. If they are restructuring the way I think, and this is going to be speculation here, what I think they're doing, if what Phil says, what Matt Booty says, what their spokesman says, they are wanting to reallocate toward things that they know are going to work. So, in my opinion, that means Microsoft is kind of like Kane says, BGS is on notice. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout have got to get out faster. You can't take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years for these games to come out. Frankly, it's not worth the investment. And you might say, well, Bethesda was making it before Microsoft came along. No, they weren't. That's why they sold. That's why Bethesda sold. They were in financial trouble because, again, Bethesda Game Studios is the only money they have coming in. And when it takes 10 years for a video game to come out, 10 years in gaming is an eternity. You think about what happens in just a person's life in 10 years. Now, 10 years when you get my age, goes by like that. But you've got people that were, my son played Skyrim while he was in elementary school. He's finished college now and going on to a career. So, that shows you. And still, there's not another Elder Scrolls out. It's crazy to think how long it's actually been. So what does that mean? Well, it does mean we're going to get Fallout and the Elder Scrolls more often. But, and I really want y'all's opinion because this is speculation. With losing how many people Bethesda has lost, with Todd Howard being basically the only thing left of what BGS once was, what are we going to get if we're getting Fallout and the Elder Scrolls quicker? We may get them every 2 to 3 years, but will they have the same magic that Skyrim had? Will they be like the games that we've loved, or will it start being just an Activision game or just a game? You tell me what you think. I worry about that. My wife says I worry a lot anyway, but I worry about that. Jeremy says, maybe you going to get your Fallout Elder Scrolls Studios now. I think that's what's happening. And again, I mentioned this in the podcast with Joe. If y'all haven't seen it, please go back. But you've got to think Bethesda Game Studios has 4 studios, okay? 4 main studios. And now I want y'all to think about this, guys. There is no excuse for this. And I've been screaming this. Out of 4 studios, 3 of those BGS studios are not working on the Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Let that sink in. Montreal is exclusively a mobile studio. They produce mobile games. What have we gotten out of that studio in the last 6-7 years? We've gotten Blades and we got Castles. They may have put out something else, I don't remember, but the point is garbage, pure garbage. It's money grab because Fallout Shelter was a success. Fallout Shelter was good. But because they made so much money on Fallout Shelter, they thought, aha, we're going to have a whole studio for mobile games and we're going to make tons and tons of money. Well, it didn't work out that way. Then you've got Dallas. That's a support studio. So who knows what they're doing. Then you've got BGS Austin. You say, well, they're working on Fallout 76. No, they are not. There are 3 outside studios. They had to get Double 11, and my lupus memory is not going to give me the other 2 right when I need it. But there's 3 studios outside of Bethesda that are doing Fallout 76 now. Bethesda Austin, and I teased this at the very first of the podcast, Bethesda Austin is working on a brand new game called Spy Team. Has nothing to do with Fallout, has nothing to do with the Elder Scrolls, and who knows what in the heck Spy Team is. Spy Team was a trademark that ZeniMax got in 2022. So since 2022, Bethesda Game Studios Austin, you remember when the content went in Fallout 76? That's about 2022. That's when they quit working on Fallout 76 and just put a skeleton crew on it and started working on Spy Team. If you're wondering what Spy Team may be, I think it's going to be something like Battle Cry. Look it up. They were almost finished with Battle Cry when Bethesda bought them out, which is a multiplayer game. It being named Spy Team, obviously team being there's going to be multiplayer. Evidently, it's got some spy element to it, okay? But it's just a new multiplayer IP. I can't believe it didn't get canceled. It's crazy that it didn't get canceled, seeing that ZeniMax has got canceled. But again, 3 studios, guys. 3 of the 4 studios are not working on the Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Is there anybody here on this podcast that would make that same decision? And I'm talking about if we wanted to make money. No. Because what are the cash cows at BGS? Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. So I want you to really think about this. You go back a year, you had every Bethesda Game studio, not a one of them were working on Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. Maryland was working on Starfield. Montreal was working on whatever garbage mobile app they're making now. Dallas was supporting Maryland, and Fallout and BGS Austin was working on Spy Team. How crazy is that? So some of this, as me and Joe said, some of what Microsoft is doing is good. Now, I don't believe laying off 9,000 people. I don't like the canceling games, all that. But a restructure inside Bethesda Game Studios, the studio that is my favorite, is more than needed. Because their last 2 projects, listen, this is infuriating. As much as I like Fallout 76, I know it's not for everyone. Their last 2 projects was Fallout 76, a multiplayer game, and Starfield. Again, neither one of them is a single-player Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. Think about how long it's been since Bethesda Game Studios has worked on a single-player Elder Scrolls or Fallout. So it was time for I'm ranting today. It was time for Microsoft to come in and say, these are what make money. These are what the fans want. Get back to making them. Goodness. Sorry about that, guys. So what is the future of Bethesda now? Well, it's scary times. It really is, because all your people that made the games that we love are gone, other than Todd. But this is what I do know. Number one, there is a Fallout going to be in your hands to play, a new Fallout to play very soon. Very, very soon, if you count Fallout 3 Remastered. Fallout 3 Remastered's coming, and then there's a Fallout spinoff coming. Those are coming before we get Fallout 5. Now, I don't know how they're going to be. I hope they're managed correctly. I hope they're smart enough to see and understand that they need the Creation 2 engine to do it. I hope. I hope it turns out like Fallout New Vegas, but I don't know. Some of the people making decisions, and I say even at Bethesda Game Studios, have been stupid since they put out Fallout 4. As much as I love Fallout 76, should they have done that next? No. As much as I enjoyed Starfield, should they have done that next? No. What are they known for? What makes money? And what do we want? We want single-player Fallout and single-player Elder Scrolls. That's what we want. There was a time during the development of Fallout 76 that all of Maryland was working on it with them. So again, nobody was working on Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. Okay. So yes, Jeremy, I agree with you 100%. What are we going to see in the future? I believe, again, if restructuring is what I think it is, Microsoft is telling them, you better focus on the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. This decades to get another one is not going to happen. Yes, Todd keeps saying, Todd sometimes is just in his own little world. He's saying games should last a decade. Well, Skyrim has lasted a decade because it was a great game. I mean, you're not going to have another Skyrim. Skyrim was a game industry changing game. Really, because of Skyrim, we got what's the Nintendo game? Breath of the Wild. Because of Skyrim, we got The Witcher 3. Skyrim was like in my day, way back when Doom came out. Doom changed the gaming industry forever. Skyrim changed the gaming industry forever. You can't expect them to do that every time, Todd. And then Todd actually says it's good for people to wait. Now, again, I know what he was trying to say, but it comes across to us who have waited so long, 14 years. Is it good to wait on a game for 14 years? No. Unexpected Outcome, thank you so much for the super chat. And my queen is here.
I saw it before he did.
Just to do Walter.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
What was that? Crack, crack, crack.
Rice Krispies.
All right. Give Unexpected Outcome a Walter.
Just one?
Yeah.
Ow, jerk.
Oh, you don't like that, so you always give two. Go ahead.
April Fool's, dumbass.
I love that one.
He's the only one that cannot be family friendly, right?
He is. He is not family friendly.
So,
that's okay.
Unexpected Outcome says
Thank
Microsoft is trying to save money so they can catch up on their AI issues. I think they're going to close the satellite studios and just move to outside contractors. Yep. I think there's a lot of truth in that as well. I do not believe these are the last jobs to go. I really don't. I think there's going to be, I mean, this again is the fourth major time in 18 months, losing almost 18,000 people. They're not done yet. And that's sad.
You lot of goodies in here.
I do.
Beef
Don't-
sticks and Tootsie Rolls.
Don't touch
and-
my goodies. Two more things about the future of Bethesda. We mentioned this just a little bit earlier, but it's so true. Todd is not going to stay long, not under these circumstances, and not without the team that he's literally been working with for
There's nobody left. for
20
him to work
years.
with.
There's nobody left. It's all new people. Pete Hines left. All the biggies left. So I again say I believe Fallout 5 will be his last game. And a lot of the reason he's going to stay for that is because of the Fallout TV show.
What are you gonna do after that?
Well, that's the next thing I want to talk about. What will Bethesda be like once Todd leaves? Because he's the only thing holding us to what.
You have this too.
Would you leave my stuff alone? I don't think it's the end of Bethesda when Todd leaves, because they've got all the tools and they've got all the they've got the pattern to go after. It's almost like a cookie cutter, and the writing can't do anything but get better. So can we have great games after Todd leaves? I think we can, yes. Because again, they're still going to have the creation engine upgraded by then, of course. But it will make the exploring deep rich worlds that we want. All we have to have is good writing and people that will stick to the script.
Maybe.
And not try a new multiplayer game and a new space game and a new let's go in the swamp game.
Maybe. What's his name? Gardner? What was his
Jeff
name?
Gardner.
Maybe Jeff Gardner and some people have something and they're working on it right now.
They
waiting
are working
for
on
Todd to end there, and then the gang will be
Back
all
together
back
again.
together and out from under Microsoft and doing their own thing.
Yep, they are working on something together. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. We're almost out of time already. This is going like that.
Did y'all hear that I just gave a
A-
gaming thought?
A gaming
like
thought,
a
yeah.
serious wait, do that again. A serious gaming thought? Y'all should be impressed.
Okay, let's see.
I also think Microsoft needs to come to the South and get a good old butt whooping.
Psycho says, just a game. All the magic people are gone already. Yep. All hail the king. Thank you. Jeremy says, if they cut down the time to every 4 to 5 years, it shouldn't change the game all that much. I really think they're going to push for quicker than that, 3 to 4 years. There's no reason I know games are more complex these days. This is a whole subject for another podcast. But you look during the days of Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, we were getting games every 2 years. Boom, boom, boom. Bethesda Game Studios get some of the best games they've ever made in 2 years. 2. I'm not asking for a game every 2 years. But 3 to 4 years, I think they should. I mean, they have quadrupled the size of what Bethesda was back then. They were under 100 people back then. Danny says, I completed the Outer Worlds, but it was boring. Well, I'm glad I didn't complete it then. Jeremy says, because Skyrim and Oblivion were supposed to last decades. Yes. I know you like Starfield, but in hindsight, it was a mistake. We would be playing the Elder Scrolls right now. Hey, I agree with that 1,000%. And believe it or not, I thought that then. Was I still excited for a new game, new IP? Yes. But would I have much rather had the Elder Scrolls even before I knew what Starfield was? Yes. I am a diehard Elder Scrolls fan, even more than Fallout, believe it or not. Y'all have seen me play Fallout all these years, but the Elder Scrolls is what brought me to
Elder
Bethesda.
Scrolls a lot more years.
Yep. Let's see. Unexpected Outcome says, I think Microsoft is going to push him out
Kane.
being Todd
Mark it on the calendar.
within 5 years. I don't think Todd Howard will be here for Fallout 5. I think there's a real possibility of that unexpected outcome. Absolutely. Psycho says Todd's going to go before long. The corporations must be crappy to work for. That's why everybody's left. I mean, that's what Nate Perkopile said, that it's just a horrible working environment. Unexpected outcome says exactly my thoughts, Queen. I have a feeling Bethesda is going to reemerge as a new small company and go back to its origins. Wouldn't that be great? If
Look at y'all thinking I'm on to something today. That's just like, woohoo.
Would that be great? Danny says Fallout
Y'all mark
3
it
New
down.
Vegas. Jeremy says, I think Bethesda will be maybe better because Todd won't be around to make us wait for 10 years. Todd be tripping, the area uncensored says. I'm not going to say anything bad about Todd.
Thank you.
Todd is a legend. He is a legend. I almost made a joke there, but I'm not going to. He really is a gaming legend. And what he has accomplished
phenomenal.
May not be ever accomplished again. So I'll leave it there. But yes, sometimes there definitely becomes a time that it's time. I'm not saying that yet.
But listen, feet can be dragging here too because stuff is happening in the other place as well. And he's, I don't know, for lack of a better term, he's the decoy right now to.
Well, one of the problems with Todd is right now, he's strung out on 5 to 10 different projects. Literally, I counted them.
Some peak performance right now.
I counted them up. He was working on 9 different things at one point.
He must have ADHD.
So he's not the developer anymore. He's just the overseer now. Now, obviously, he's a very talented guy, but you would rather him be working on the game. He's not working on the Elder Scrolls 6. He's just overseeing it. Same what he's doing on the TV show. He's just a consultant there. But all that takes time.
Good job on that.
He oversaw the Indiana Jones. I mean, his plate is very, very, very full. Well, guys, we have come to the last 3 minutes of the podcast. I cannot believe we're there, but we are at the time where y'all can say anything you want. I didn't cover 76. I kept telling you I was going to cover 76. Right now, going on in 76, it is double XP. It is also Meat Week. So if y'all want to jump into Fallout 76, that's what's going on now. And I did go into the PTS and play the PTS.
I started dinner.
Oh, good. Are we having something good?
Spaghetti squash and Riverbend Ranch steak.
I think y'all are going to like what's going on in the PTS right now, other than the weapons changes and all that. Y'all know about that. But the building stuff is pretty crazy. They have totally redone the build menu and put in subcategories. Plus, it is now easy to basically you can build with it out glitches the way people do with glitches now. And I love that because y'all know me. I'm not a glitch guy. I don't like glitching the game. So now you can intersect stuff. You can
he likes to build and decorate, though.
I do. But now you can do all that stuff. Once this comes in the fall, you're going to be able to do that without glitches. So they've really done an amazing job.
He says, honey, doesn't this look great? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Then he says, which wallpaper do you like better? I'm going, let's pick one. I picked out paint colors today.
For what? The house?
Yes.
Yay.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yay.
I had to bring them home to look at them.
Okay, when I say you can talk about anything you want, I meant them. Oh. Guys, is there...
Baby.
Yes.
Honey.
Yes, baby. Oh, by the way, there's also a fishing camp contest going on now through July the 22nd. It's open on all platforms. And this
I didn't even see my feather.
This is kind of cool. Y'all listen to this. The 15 semifinalists, and the way I read it is there's going to be 15 semifinalists in each platform. So there'll be 15 for the PlayStation, 15 for the Xbox, and 15 for the PC. They will all get 5,000 atoms, even if you're just one of the 15 semifinalists. And then the winner, there'll be 3 winners, will get 10,000 atoms. So be sure if you're building a fishing camp in Fallout 76, I've already got 2 of them. Be sure and enter them into this contest.
Did you enter them?
No, I don't think I'm going to enter them.
Why? Enter them.
Let everybody else enter. So
enter them.
You want the atoms, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was a real contest with Bethesda.
Kane says the studio that did the build menu was Iron Galaxy. Thank you. There was one of them. Again, there's 011, Iron Galaxy. There's another one too. I can't remember what its name is. It's not Bethesda Austin. It's crazy. Unexpected Outcome says the build menu is fantastic, and it's the only thing that's fantastic that I like about the update in the PTS. Yeah, they are definitely.
You did, Dale. Come on down. It's amazing. You'll love the steak.
Yeah, if anybody's close to Arkansas and want to have dinner, come on.
Come on.
Come on. We'll feed you.
And there's a fireworks show across the street tonight.
That's right.
I didn't need to make dinner.
We are watching that.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, we're supposed to have hamburgers or something, aren't we? Aren't our neighbors
I
making
reminded myself that like 4 times.
Well, happy 4th of July for y'all.
Really bad ADHD.
Thank y'all so much for being here today. Guys, I don't tell y'all enough how much we truly love y'all and appreciate your support.
Agreed, Kit Ryder. Agreed.
Just being here, liking the videos.
Hold on, I have to ask a question. Is Kit Ryder a play off of Knight Rider?
Well, Kit was
the
name of Knight Rider, yeah.
Kit was the car on the show.
Yes, yeah. But again, and Queen will back me up on this. We appreciate y'all so much.
More than you know.
More than you know.
Hey, watch the videos. Share the videos. Did you talk about how amazing your videos are doing right now?
No, they're doing much better.
How many did the one get?
It's up to like 35,000.
I thought it was a little bit higher.
37,000.
I don't know.
Something like that.
It's amazing. So really, y'all, hey Cirque, help us out and help him out. Help me buy paint.
If you can't support us, then you do support us by watching and liking. And
watch a couple of ads, not all of them.
Thank you, Kane. Thank you, Unexpected Outcome, for the super chats. We appreciate it.
Share them.
Happy 4th of July to y'all. God bless y'all. Be safe.
Pray for Texas.
And we'll see y'all next time. Bye everybody.
Guys.